Where you from in Southie?
I like what you've done with the place.
The therapy in Good Will Hunting was so good, and it was so well written in terms of it being entertaining and consumable. Was it well written from a mental health standpoint?
Yeah, it was. It was really good therapy. He was flexible. He was not doing cognitive behavioral therapy. He was doing more supportive, more what we call psychodynamic therapy, talking about what events happen in a person's life that might have led to them being who they are now, and trying to get him to bring some subconscious things into the conscious. It was well-written therapy. Could I see a course of therapy going just like that and being effective? I could.
Okay, so the first scene he has with him, Matt Damon just refuses to listen to him, refuses to connect, and just eviscerates him, finds his weak point, takes down the picture, I think that his wife had drawn or something along those lines. And Robin Williams chokes him.
If you ever disrespect my wife again, I will end you. I will fucking end you. Got that, Chief?
Time's up.
I'm not going to ask you to say that like violence is a good part of
It's
therapy.
not.
But was that scene believable?
He wouldn't put his hands on his patient. Absolutely not.
And you don't even think that him in that particular part of his life or being attacked that way, he'd put his hands on him?
Well, I mean, if he did, he should be kicked out of the profession. That's just not appropriate in any way, shape, or form. Look, 90s, different time. It wasn't appropriate then either. Other than that part, it was good therapy. Look, this happens all the time. Patients, especially those that don't necessarily want to be in therapy, and they're often the most challenging patients. So you had Robin Williams' character have what we call dual agency. This is sometimes very difficult to navigate in therapy, but it's not uncommon when you have both the responsibility to your patient or to your client,
and also to the court.
To somebody else. Yeah. So he's got a dual responsibility there. You will frequently have the client in that situation challenge the therapy and basically kind of be like, hey, can I get kicked out of this? Can I get out of this in some way? Because I'm not really invested in it.
Afternoon delight.
Doing real honest-to-God therapy in those situations is very challenging.
Sure. Yeah, when someone's forced to do therapy, they're not invested in it the way that somebody's like, man, I'm at my wit's end.
An absolute lunatic he is.
Yeah, they're not invested in it. And it was only through a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill on the part of Robin Williams' therapist that he was able to make some kind of breakthroughs. I mean, he didn't cure him of reactive attachment disorder. He didn't cure him at all. In fact, in some ways, it was a partial success because he went in kind of left and went off to find his own way, also rupturing all the attachments he had in the Boston area. So it was I would say that's a mixed outcome.
He's going to need some more therapy. I don't think that anybody thought he was done. Next scene that they have, Robin Williams takes him out of the office and he takes him down to a park bench. Is that good therapy? Is that something that is done?
Yes, absolutely.
That's fantastic.
You want to have an area, of course, where you're private, you're not going to be overheard and things like that. But getting out of the office, if that's not the right setting, there's lots of therapists who do that, and it's totally fine.
Ends it with,
You're terrified of what you might say. Your move, Chief.
you can engage in this or not. Goes back, they don't talk at all. Sarsgaard's like, you were there for an hour and didn't say a word? And Robin Williams says the first guy who talks basically loses. And they come back, and then Matt Damon tells a joke about being on a plane. Is that good therapy?
Absolutely. Frequently silence is incredibly therapeutic. This is why, therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists do a lot of training and get a lot of supervision about this, because it feels like that wouldn't be a good use of time. Oftentimes the silence is very important. A pregnant pause at the right time when your patient has just laid something heavy down on you, or when they've just come to a realization, is very therapeutic. Having a whole session where you don't speak at all because it's somewhat of a challenge in a therapeutic way. Yeah. I've been involved in those. It happens.
Yeah. I love it when basically Robin Williams is almost nodding off when Matt Damon starts to tell that joke because he's just tired. I thought that was a great little detail.
Think of it this way, Jeff, especially in somebody that we've just described as having reactive attachment disorder. The attachment gets disrupted. They can't trust. So if you sit with them all the way through what is clearly, and you both know it, a petulant tantrum of I'm just not going to talk to you. If you sit with them through that whole thing, you have just shown, I'm with you, Chief.
That's a great point.
People testing boundaries will do anything they can to push you away and throw you away. And oftentimes, just persevering is the right thing to do.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great message. Last part of the therapy, Josh, that I want to bring up, and then we can move on. I've never hugged any of my therapists. Is that good therapy?
It's a gray area, and appropriately so. There's lots of schools of thought around therapy that physical touch is not okay. It can often be exploitative, taken too far, etc., etc. That all being said, touch can have a very therapeutic effect if given in the right way. I did not find fault at all in that.
Oh, thank God. Thank God.
While it's not universally accepted in all schools of thought, and you have to be very judicious with touch as somebody in the therapeutic profession, I didn't find fault with that at all.
So hugs, gray area, no tongue, right?
I'll let you answer that yourself. I empower you to answer that yourself.
All right, so no trying to French kiss your therapist on the last day.
No, Jesus Christ, Jeff Jones.
So no choking, hugs are a gray area. That's all I've taken from this conversation that we've had.
I want you to hit me as hard as you can.